hear us?
Yes.
New York, Buffalo, can you hear us?
I certainly can. All me.
All right, we're a little bit past 10:30, so we're going to get started. Good morning, everybody. My name is Whitney Clark. I'm the Director of the Division of Licensing Services. Unfortunately, Deputy Secretary of State Fields cannot attend, so I'll be leading this meeting. Let's go around the rooms and do a form and a roll call. Let's start in Buffalo.
David Dworkin.
Morning, Dave.
Good.
All right, in New York.
Joe Burko.
Anita Gann, Department of State.
Dave Mossberg, Department of State.
Trisha O'Connor, board member.
Diane Ramirez, board member.
Peter Dean, Department of Financial Services.
Okay, David or Anita, is there a way to adjust the volume in New York? You're very faint from Albany. You have the microphone on the table. Could one of you say something, please?
Can you hear
Testing,
us now?
testing. Is that
Is
better?
that better?
It's a little bit better. You're still pretty faint. So for New York folks, if you just please speak up.
Maybe-
You want to speak during the meeting?
Maybe have
All
everybody.
right, and then Albany, of course.
Marcella Rose, Department of State. Mary Jo Moore, Department of State.
Department of State. Judy Rinaldo, Department of State.
Mark Mastrobuono, Department of State.
All right, David, do we have a quorum?
Sorry, so I see that we have 6 voting members here. I do not believe that is enough for the quorum. There's 15 members with actually no vacancies, it appears. No, 2 vacancies, so 13 voting members. 4, 5, 6 total, so it looks like we're 1 short, if my math is right.
Okay. All right, thank you, David. If somebody happens to join us later in the meeting, we'll move up anything that we need to vote on and take care of it then. All right, so the first items are on the agenda are the department and subcommittee reports. Ernita, could you please provide an enforcement report for the board?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to share a little statistics from our activity for our first quarter of this year, from January through March. We've received 221 real estate complaints, and during the same period, we closed 288 real estate complaints. Dispositions were rendered. I'd like to just talk a little bit about the directions of our cases and where they go. We have real estate cases that are investigating, and determinations were made to close files based on an evaluation that no violation occurred. We have real estate cases investigated where determinations were made to close files for lack of jurisdiction. We have a category where we close files as abandoned, and that's where the complainants fail to respond to the department's investigation efforts. We have real estate complaints that were filed and subsequently withdrawn by the complainants, and we keep statistics on those as part of our records. We have real estate complaints that are found to have merit and are pending for further investigation. Real estate cases that undergo a full investigation and the results of the investigation warrant either a counsel's review or a legal opinion. Real estate cases where it is determined that issues surrounding the complaint are civil and the arena to adjudicate those issues are in the courts. Real estate complaints where the issues are resolved subsequent to the filing of the complaint. The real estate complaints where a full investigation was conducted and it was determined that a warning or a level of instruction is warranted. And real estate complaints where it was found that there was insufficient evidence to determine if a violation of law occurred. Out of the number of cases that we closed this month, we had 49 cases closed, no jurisdiction, 43 closed, no violation, 31 referred to counsel, 26 cases withdrawn, 26 complaints abandoned, 11 closed, no merit, 15 closed resolved, and 5 with warnings, 15 closed insufficient evidence, 37 civil referrals, 3 administrative holds, 9 where instructions were rendered, 15 duplicates, and we have 3 others, and I haven't determined what the others are yet. That's my report.
Okay, thank you, Arnita. Does anyone have any questions for Arnita? Okay, thanks, Arnita. The next report is from Marcy Rose.
Okay, so this is an update of the audit currently in process of real estate qualifying education with the 75-hour salesperson course. To date, 66 of the 95 schools have been included. We're still in the process of communicating with some 37 licensees, but so far, out of the 6,264 licensees, 5,938 were compliant, which is almost 95% compliance rate. 41 licensees have chosen to surrender their license, and 248, approximately 4% licensees have been sent to hearing.
Good numbers, thank you, Marcy. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, moving on to the action items. The first action item is an update from Dave Mossberg on the real estate broker course rulemaking.
So as the board members may recall, several years ago, unfortunately, there was a proposal made by the board to revise the qualifying education course curriculum for the real estate broker's license. The proposal had originally been discussed by the board, however, it was somewhat stalled in the regulatory review process. Since our last meeting, we were able to actually move forward with the proposal formally by publishing the notice of proposed rulemaking in the state register. A copy of that rulemaking material should be in everyone's board package. It's reflective of what the board and the subcommittee had worked on previously. The hours remain unchanged. It's new course topics and a reallocation of hours to particular topics were switched as based on the board's expertise as to what's needed within the industry. The current rulemaking schedule is that we're in the comment period. The original rule was published on March 21st. The comment period runs 60 days, so that 60 days is going to expire on May 20th. After May 20th, depending on whether or not there are any comments or if the board wants to make any changes to the rulemaking, the board will come back, hopefully vote to adopt the rule. We planned programmatically to have this rule become effective on September 1st, 2018, which is when the courses are otherwise approved by the education unit to be taught. So we timed it so that it will hopefully match up perfectly so that the schools teaching it will have a sort of a full educational term consistent with the other existing regs. So as I said, we're in the notice of comment period now. The rule making materials are in everyone's packages. And I don't know if anyone has any questions or concerns, but we'll have to meet back anyway sometime after May 20th to adopt formally. So if you don't have questions now, obviously you could ask then, I guess.
David, when do we have to meet by in order to have the rule effective by September 1st?
I believe, notice of adoption, it takes 2 weeks to publish, so the absolute very latest, which I don't recommend, I presume would be sometime in August, because it has to be published in the state register 2 weeks. There's a 2-week lag period, so if we wanted to start September 1, probably the absolute latest would be very early August, but I imagine there's paperwork involved and it takes some time to get everything signed, so I'd say the board would probably have to meet sometime between May and July in order to meet this proposed September 1st date.
Okay. What I'm going to have Adea do, because once we get to summer, everyone's schedules get a little crazy with vacations and whatnot. I'm going to try to get a board meeting scheduled in June, so we'll have sufficient time to make the rule effective for the schools. So if you, board members, you can please take a look at your calendars and let Adea know if you have any conflicts. That'll help her isolate the dates. Does anyone else have any questions for David?
Could I just say one thing? Could we try to make that June 1 a Rochester meeting as opposed to the Buffalo location?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. And following up with that is an update on the course curriculum for brokers by Mark Vespuno.
All right, following David with the same curriculum, the approved real estate schools have been sent a copy of the proposed curriculum indicating that we anticipate its approval on September 1st and that they should continue to enroll students in the current curriculum and of course will allow those students to finish the curriculum, but any students enrolling after September 1st, we expect them to be enrolled in this new curriculum. The curriculum itself, the subcommittee started out by paring out information that we felt was duplicated from the salesperson 75-hour course. Approximately 5 hours were added to the office operation, which based on a survey was considered to be an area that needed updating and more focus for broker applicants in receiving their education. A couple of other changes were done. We did remove a minor portion of the finance section and to make room for this additional office operation. If anyone has any questions regarding that after comparing the curriculums, please let us know and we can discuss that. We're looking forward to this. It's been, as David said, a long time coming, and we're anxious to get this out and offer to our New York students.
Does anyone have any questions for Mark? Okay, the next item on the agenda. Oh, go ahead.
Excuse me, sorry. We have nothing to add, but Dave Rumsey showed up, which I believe gets us to quorum.
Oh. Excellent.
So
Always,
if I
always
could,
good.
so if we could just recount who I believe we have here. We have a voting member from DOS, voting member from DFS. You said Dave Rumsey just showed up?
Yes.
Joe Burko, Tricia O'Connor, Dave Dworkin, and Diane Ramirez. Did I miss any other voting members of the board? Nope. Anyone in Albany that I miss? Hello?
So David, do you need a motion to approve the notice of proposed rulemaking to be adopted for the real estate broker curriculum?
Well, so assuming I didn't miss anyone in Albany and that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 voting members present, if the board wanted to move to adopt the proposed rulemaking, provided that there are no comments received which would necessitate possible response or revision, the board could empower DOS to vote to adopt now, and then this way we wouldn't have to worry about a meeting again in August. But it would require unanimous vote of all 7 board members, including DFS and DOS.
Okay. Could I have a motion? No, everyone's being shy. All right, I'll move. We have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, the motion is passed. All right, thank you, David.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is new business. Aday didn't receive any topics from the board members prior to the date. Does anyone have anything they'd like to bring to the floor today?
Yeah, I know, this is Trisha O'Connor. Winnie, I know we spoke, and I sent you the email and we sent back, but I do really still have those concerns. As someone who teaches real estate and someone who is really on the ground, I see a lot of issues that we really need to tighten up. One, I really do believe, I've been doing real estate for 19 years, and I've seen a lot of scams, I've seen a lot of things happen. I really do believe real estate agents, salespeople, associate brokers, and brokers should be required to put their license number on their marketing material. A lot of consumers do not know that real estate professionals are licensed, how to look them up. I know you've asked for specific reports and complaints, but I think it's bigger than that. I think having mortgage people do it. Mortgage bankers and brokers are required to do it. So I don't see what is the big deal about us having it on our marketing material. Excuse me, what our license number is. Another issue that I've come across is that it may sound crazy, but if a real estate broker passes away, there is no report that the person passed away, which means people within that person's office can log into their e-access as long as they have their password and renew that person and continue the office. And I know it sounds crazy, but there needs to be some types of checks and balances where people have to renew and give their identity that they're actually the person renewing. The other thing that I came across is, I'm also, was licensed in New Jersey. And when you look up a real estate professional in New Jersey, it tells you whether that person's license is active, inactive, expired, suspended. But in New York State, when you look up a person, it only says if they're active. If they're not active, they're just not in the system. And I think the public, if we're here to protect the consumers and the public, we need to make that more known that this person cannot do business. Because the public do not, I just started a new real estate class not too long ago, and my class, they're clueless of this information. They said they had no idea. So I think these are some of the things that we need to work on if we need to speak to the assembly, whoever we need to speak on. But see, some of these things are things that we need to do to just tighten this industry.
Okay, any discussion on those topics from the other board members?
Or you could just tell me who do I need to speak to address it to, whether it's assembly, whoever.
Well, two of the issues that you raised are IT-related issues. What we can put on the website is limited by our current real estate system. So those will unfortunately need to wait until we move forward with the governor's initiative to update all of the licensing databases statewide. As far as putting the license number on marketing material, that would be a revision to the advertising rules. So for that issue, I would suggest that we refer that over to the Trends Committee for discussion. Tricia, are you currently a member of the Trends Committee?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I'll have Aday check the roster of the Trends Committee members, and if you're not currently a member, we'll add you as one. And we'll get a Trends Committee meeting scheduled so that you can have a discussion about changing the advertising regulations specific to including a license number on marketing materials and any other issues that the other subcommittee members may have.
Just conference call
Okay.
with the Trans Committee.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right, does anyone else have any items of new business? Okay, public comment. Is there anybody in Buffalo?
There is no one here.
Is the two of you? Okay,
That's
we do have
correct.
some public members in Albany, so anyone in Albany? No? Mike Kelly, no? No? Okay, New York City.
No.
All right. Short but sweet meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn, Diane Ramirez.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, before you leave, we do have one of our statutorily required public hearings on today's agenda, so I'm going to turn it over to David.
Thank you, Whitney. New York Real Property Law, Section 442I6 requires that in addition to the regularly scheduled board meetings of the Real Estate Board, there shall be 3 public hearings, one in New York, one in Buffalo, and one in Albany. Purposes of these hearings shall be to solicit from members of the public suggestions, comments, and observations about real estate practice in New York. Seeing as we may not have another meeting in Buffalo for some time soon, I think this will be the Buffalo meeting. So let's open it up to Buffalo to see if there's any members from the public to provide any suggestions, comments, or observations.
Well, today we don't have any members from the public.
Okay. In New York, do any public members wish to say anything?
Good, thank you.
All right. The one public member in New York declines to comment. And in Albany, does anyone wish to make any statements?
No, no comments.
Okay. Being as there are no comments being offered, this shall conclude the statutorily required public hearing in Buffalo, New York. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Aye.
I'm on pages, but I haven't, nothing's, it's been quiet, right?